Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're all having a wonderful week. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like this video so you don't miss any future uploads. Today is Whole Food Wednesday, so I have another whole food plant-based and oil-free recipe, but today I'm bringing you my first of many Thanksgiving recipes. I'm going to be sporadically dropping some Thanksgiving recipes for you guys throughout the next week and a half, so keep your eyes and ears peeled because I do not know the date and time that I will be dropping each of them, but I'm not going to keep you guys waiting because I know you guys need recipes to get onto your table for your Thanksgiving dinner. So without further ado, let's, no pun intended, roll into this recipe. So you can see here, we're going to be making some dinner rolls. These are some delicious whole food plant-based and oil-free whole wheat dinner rolls that are going to be the perfect addition to your Thanksgiving meal. I'm going to show you guys a few different ways that you can switch this recipe up to fit your exact dietary needs. Now, I do apologize, I don't have a gluten-free option right now, but I'm working on one and I plan on having it out before Christmas. So we're going to start off by adding our active dry yeast, our pure cane sugar, and some warmed plant milk right into our bowl, and we're going to give that a little mix, and then we're going to allow that to proof for 5 minutes. Obviously, you don't need to use a mixer for this. If you have any questions, of course, ask them down below, or you can DM me on Instagram. So now that our yeast is nice and fluffy, you know when it's done because it's all bubbled up on top. We're going to mix some salt right in with our whole wheat flour, and then we're going to add that right into our bowl along with some almond butter. We're going to mix this together until everything's well incorporated. I'm using my dough hook, and of course, you could just use your hands, a wooden spoon, and then I'm just going to mix this until it's all well incorporated, and then we're going to knead this. And I'm going to do it using my dough hook, but you could transfer it to your counter and knead it that way. So now that this is all mixed up, I'm just going to allow my dough hook to do its thing and knead this for about 5 minutes. You can transfer it to a counter and do it that way. And of course, have a little extra whole wheat flour on the side on hand to use as needed, because obviously you don't want your dough to be too sticky, but remember, don't add too much flour. When I'm using the mixer to do it, I do add a little bit of flour along the edges you can see here inside of my bowl, just to kind of help the stickiness a little bit, and it comes out perfect. I barely add like a teaspoon total, and it does exactly what I need it to. So I just let this continue to mix in for the 5 minutes, and then it's ready to set up. We're going to put this in a warm place, and we're going to cover it with a towel, and we're going to let this set for up to an hour. You're just looking for this to double in size. I live in Arizona, so this happens for me a lot quicker, and I usually don't have to wait for an hour. So we just allow this to hang out, and then once it's ready, we're going to start forming our rolls. And because we're on YouTube time, we're able to speed that up, and you can see here our dough has doubled in size. So we're going to go ahead and transfer that onto our surface, and then we're going to separate this into 8 equal parts. So I usually cut it in half, cut each half in half, and then cut each of those halves in half so that I can get equal sized dinner rolls. So you're just going to start by forming a ball, and then you're going to roll that around until it's nice and smooth and you have a nice little ball, and you're just going to set that to the side. And then you're going to continue doing that with all of these. So now that we've formed all of our rolls, we're going to go ahead and place these in a 9x13 baking dish lined with some parchment paper. I'm going to crumble my parchment paper up. As you can see here, it's already crumbled, but I'm going to show you guys what I do to just make it easier to work with. You know, parchment paper just kind of like does its own thing. So if you want it to stay how you want it to stay in a pan. This is just a quick little tip. So I'm going to go ahead and line this with the rolls, and you just want to place them in there so that they're not all touching, because these are going to rise again. We're going to cover these and place these in a warm place again for 30 minutes. And in the meantime, we are going to preheat our oven to 375 degrees. So after 30 minutes, these should have doubled in size, and you're going to go ahead and brush these with some plant milk, and then you're going to season them accordingly. I use some thyme on these ones, but you can season them with any herbs or any way that you like to season your rolls, or you could just leave them plain. Then you're going to place them in the oven for 20 minutes, and when they come out, they should look like this. This is the absolute perfect roll for your holiday dinner. I promise it won't disappoint. So now we're going to go ahead and make the same roll, but we're going to adjust the ingredients a little bit. So for these ones, I left out the almond butter and I reduced the salt. So you're going to want to go ahead and do it exactly the same. You're going to cut your salt in half, and you're going to leave out the almond butter. You're going to allow it to rise, and then you're going to form your dough balls, and you're going to allow those to rise again. And then I'm going to baste these with some aquafaba, or you could use plant milk. And then I decided to put some oats on top of these. And then we're going to bake them in the oven at 375 for 20 minutes. And they come out great, you guys. Really, the only difference is the original ones are going to be a little more full of flavor because they have that extra added fat. And I don't know if it's the almond butter that helps bring out a little more of the sweetness, but the texture is pretty close. It's just not exact. But this is still a absolutely great option for a dinner roll that is healthy, and this one doesn't have a bunch of added fat. So it's a really great option for those of you who have to follow that exact protocol for your way of eating. So for this third and final recipe for this dinner roll, we're going to go ahead and we're going to leave out the salt, we're going to leave out the almond butter, and we're going to switch from pure cane sugar to maple syrup. And you can see here, it still had a great rise. The dough was a little more tougher than all the other doughs, but after the second rise with the rolls in the pan, they came out great. So I went ahead and I put some aquafaba on top of these ones as well, and some rosemary, and they came out just as good. Obviously, they don't have as much flavor because they are lacking salt and they are lacking the fat in this one, but these are still a fantastic option. They still feel like an absolute treat on Thanksgiving. They are, like I said, a little bit different. Each roll is a little bit less impressive as the first one, but these are all great options to help accommodate your dietary needs on a whole food, plant-based, oil-free diet. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you make one of my recipes, don't forget to tag me on Facebook or Instagram. I love seeing when you recreate a recipe. Like this video and subscribe if you're new here. Keep your eyes peeled because, like I said, I have more Thanksgiving videos coming your way. So stay tuned and we'll see you in the next video, guys. Hope you have a wonderful week. Bye.